Right, folks, looks like I need to do another bullshit video explaining another bullshit bug because the internet is fucking dead and impossible to use. So, let's go. Right, so we boot up PCSX2 and we boot up San Andreas for the PlayStation 2, the PAL version, which, as you can see, I have modified, but that makes absolutely no difference to what we're doing. So we go into Cheat Engine and we go into version 4, which is just after I removed the ability to switch games between versions because the code went from well we'll take out those 5 times 200. We'll take out 1,000 lines of code. So the code went from like 1,000 lines to basically like 5 or 10,000 or whatever it was when I was adding all the versions. And then I realize, oh wait, what the fuck? If you attach to PCSX2, don't press hook, just do that and then do that. Our hook works perfectly fine, and if you increment and decrement the buttons, then that works fine. And if you use the number keypads, that works fine. And if you use the numeric keys, then as you can see, that works fine. Other than I don't know how to actually check and uncheck boxes, but fuck it. And that works fine, and we know all the cheats are actually working fine in the background, other than these two which require read and write access. As you can see, it's toggling the D3D hook there. At the same time, there's our max skills and there's our money increased and blah blah blah. This is our about button, and when you click OK, it does not work for some reason. So that was back in version 1, and I was like, oh well, you know, the one problem with this is, like, unless the app works perfectly, there's no fucking advantage to using the app at all, because you can, like, the user constantly cannot be in full screen, and therefore just might as well use Pinash. Anyway, so there's that, and then we went to version 5, which is like, well, what's going on here? Because everything works in Cheat Engine, but when you save it as an exe, the direct 3D or whatever hook did not work. So, version 5.4, bearing in mind that the code is literally the same every single time, and then one of the problems we've got now is because it's not perfect and doesn't shut down, blah blah blah. We do have a problem where there's probably things running in the background, everything's going to get really bad, and it may even crash, and I might not be able to stop the video. Anyway, so we'll do the same thing with this version, and then we'll enable that, and this time you can see the hook's not showing. If I click Show ID, Hide ID, up, down, hook's not showing. If I click Info, that now shows the hook because I realized that we need a way to actually disable it, and then there is no code online for how to end scene, cancel things. Like, bearing in mind we're doing this with Lua, we're not doing it through like C++ where I could probably just download something. Yeah, so there's that. Now when we show and hide things, everything just starts breaking because our hook is not actually working. And then when we end the app, the hook is stuck there. So that's a pain in the ass. Now when we try and close things, everything's lagging out. Everything's just going stupid. And that may still be running in the task manager in the background. So we go to P. No, luckily it's not. Right. So that's with the hook. And then we've got the fuck off versions, which are just basically broken versions. And then we've actually got an exe compiled here without the hook. And we can boot that up without the game attached as well, and it doesn't crash. So somehow that's working. Again, bearing in mind the code's exactly the same every single time, it's just moved positions and either does or does not have a hook. So we'll boot it up, we'll load our save state, and everything's going to be working, although we do need Apache Engine at the start. That doesn't matter. We're going to type in Hydra, and this will go, well, from, what are we, up, down, 458 we're on now, so we'll type in Hydra, and that changes to 520. That's cool. We'll enable our cheats just so we can show what we're actually doing. Now this is a Pinash support app, which means that these two functions need read-write access all the time, but we can use our game to do that, and then we can go like that, and then all of a sudden this is not working anymore. So we'll try again. No, it's not updating. Right, so we'll do that, see if that makes a difference. We'll run our counter by pressing R1, which adds 1 to it. And we can also press R2 to go up and L2 to go up. And do our numeric keys. And then we'll type in Romero. Right, now that's worked. So that's gone to 42. And if we enable our cheats, and there we go. Now we've got a Romero. And now if we go back to the Hydra, goes to 400. So for some reason that's not working. Right. Oh, our info and about button's working. Okay, so that's got a working about button, but everything else is fucked. So why does not using the hook fix the about button? Well, I've got absolutely no idea, but version 6, we boot that up. Boot up the emulator. And I've done this about 10,000 times a day for fucking weeks. Still can't fix it, and I tried it last year. So now we're gonna do that, and do that. Then we're gonna do that. Okay, so now show and hide vehicle ID didn't do anything. We're gonna enable our hook. Then we're gonna show the ID. Okay, now we've got it, but for some reason our font's slightly smaller. Hopefully we can fix that later. That's because we've rewritten everything and reorganized it in a different order. Now you'll see this one doesn't include an about button. Why? Because it doesn't work. Not because, oh, dude, the reason you haven't got an about button is because you haven't put one there. No, I physically had to fucking delete the thing. And now, for some reason, you can't ever get it back. It's impossible to add an about button to this. And it doesn't matter what you do, because this is all the same shit. Right, now it creates one automatically when you do about click. So how are we going to get around this? Well, let's go back to version 4, where we had, hopefully, an about button. And it makes sense that this one's at the bottom, because that's ideally where we want it. And that's it. That's all you need. But I'm going to copy and paste the blank lines just to fucking make sure that there's no crazy buggery going around. And we're going to close that down so we don't get confused. Then we're going to go like that. Like that. And just to be super safe, we're just going to manually do that. Then do that. So if all those lines are missed out anyway, it shouldn't make a difference. That should be fine. There isn't anything else we need to do. I'd like close click at the bottom just for the sake of, you know, making sense. Go to desktop. This should be final now because everything should be working. We'll close it down just to clean up the screen. Open it back up. Boot up the table. Make sure we're connected. Do that. Execute that. Hit the about button. And it's broken. It doesn't close. And there's no way to access this OK button because it's an auto-generated thing by Cheat Engine. It doesn't matter how you do it. It doesn't matter where you put it. This is now broken. So we're now stuck here. If you've made any changes and we're testing it and for some stupid reason didn't save it, it's not even going to do a save. It's going to do .NET data collector and completely fucking just go nuts for no reason. There is no way to end the task without hard fucking shutting it down. And if you're really unlucky and you had a hook running and you were just testing and didn't have a fuck clue what you're doing, you've got all sorts of fucking stupid shit running. But we don't actually have PCSX2 running, so that must be okay. But the game input is duplicated. Like, I don't know if it's Windows 10, we've got Crash Helper fucking on the go. So the only thing to do now is really reboot your PC, just to make sure everything's clean. And obviously there's no way to create an about button. It's impossible to do. There's no like return. there's it like in the other version I didn't have a sender. That's usually by there. It doesn't really make a difference. Close click shouldn't be interfering with anything. It appears to be something to do with these fucking hacks, I think. These gamepad hacks. Because it's like wherever you put them, stuff starts fucking up. Now, I've executed that, I haven't saved it, so if this does work, we're completely fucked. And it obviously doesn't work, because now we can't do anything. We're completely locked. They've got no process selected, but this is booted up. So I don't know how to fix that. Haven't saved it, so that's completely fucked. Like, what's going on? Why doesn't it fucking work? That doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything. None of this should make a difference. It doesn't matter what the fuck you type in here. I mean, that's my about click. We'll do that. Make sure it's tied up. That doesn't exist anymore. Then we'll do that. And this time we'll fucking save it. I mean, we can't execute a script with this because it automatically fucking doesn't close or doesn't automatically close. So that's bullshit. We're going to click our hook. Our hook should be enabled. We're going to click show ID. It shows ID. We're going to click update and down. That's fine. Our buttons are working. Our other buttons are working. That's working. Everything seems to be working. That's going up. Press the about button. And then it's fucking stuck again on OK. And there's just no way of fucking closing it.